Hello everybody! 皆さんこんにちは、ミッチーです。今日もディスコエリシアムを続けていきます。もう一回、この、科学者なんだっけなこの人に話してみましょう。
Yes, what is it?
プログラマーか。Sooner the programmer. Yes, what is it? ドラッグ作りたい奴らね。ドラッグはダメだけど、音楽だけだったら、ここでやっていいよって。まあ、この人に説得しないといけないからね。What if you didn't have to leave? I talked to Andre who wants to make it work. あんた出ていかないで、なんか協力できないかって。
I don't want to make anything work.
別に何も、協力する気はないよみたいな。You don't want to make anything work?
Yes, anything. I don't want to make anything work.
What do you mean?
Good.
なんかあまり協力的じゃないね。でもなんとか、説得しようと。suggestion のスキルを、今42番だね。リサーチがあんまり良くなくて、あと、Fortress Accident、前の、記録も見つけたから、それをなんか使えるかもね。Suggestion Skill? 今マイナス1になってるね。もしかしてこれ、プラス 1? Suggestion シャツ着てたからあとなんかないかな。スキルがね、スキルは関係ないか。OK。じゃあ、今、
Yes, what is it?
58% か。ちょっと微妙だな。まあ、でも何回もできるから、もう一回やってみよ
う。Easy.
Oh, yes.
When her research is done, she can move out.
Listen, about your research, you mentioned earlier that it's not going very well. Maybe I can help with something. リサーチになんか、もしかして手伝えることあるか？
What? No, I don't really need any help with the project.
いらないと。But if I could help you finish the project, then you wouldn't have to live in a church next to the boom boom anymore. Just think about it. 私があなたのプロジェクトを完成させることを、ね、手伝えたら、もうブンブンの隣にもう住まなくていいだろ。
She thinks about it, a glassy look in her eyes. A gust of wind brings more snow in from the broken gallery. It touches her hair.
考えてる。
All right. Bring me the game's offsite copy from my old workspace, if you really want to help. It's stored on a filament memory, and I'm unable to go and fetch it myself.
あ、もう持ってるよ。Is this the filament you're looking for?
No, that's the production schedule you stole and accessed without authorization. I don't need it.
これはプロダクションスケジュールだけか。実際にゲームがまだ残ってると。
In his defense, it was simply lying in the desk drawer of an abandoned cubicle.
そうそう、ただ、ね、引き出しに置いてあったんだよ。別にね、盗んだ。誰も守ってたわけじゃないし、鍵もかかってなかったし。
Okay, but still. Yeah, that's the one. You can get in through the bookshop. You just have to do some explaining to the bookstore lady.
いや、でももう入ったから、もう入れるから大丈夫。説明とか説得とかしなくていい、本屋さんの人には。Where exactly is the offsite copy?
There's this giant ice bear fridge in the building's cellar. It's there.
I remember. 地下の、熊の冷蔵庫の中に入ってるって。
Don't worry, you can't miss the bear. It's hideous.
But you've been to the fridge and it wasn't there. There was a note saying,
I found a note from the Ice Bear fridge. It said the off-site copy had been moved to a safer place. もっと安全なところに移動されたと。手書き。書き置きがあった。書き置きノートがあった。
Wait, a note from whom? Did it specify where they took the filament memory?
誰からのノート？詳細は書いてあった？ It said the off-site copy had been taken to a nearby ice cream maker. The note was signed by someone named Suislaw.
Jawiza. Of course. Our project lead, Suliswov Jawiza. God, he was always so hell-bent on keeping the copy somewhere safe. And feature creep, and the Valley of the Heads. Like it would have made a difference. The offsite copy was perfectly safe when the data loss happened. That data loss was anomalous.
スリサラザウィッザーさんっていう、プロジェクトリード。同僚ね。いや、そのデータロスが起きた時には安全だったよ、その場所でも。データロスが起こったことが異常だと。
And the heads. I won't even get into the heads. Millions of them. Go find that copy from that ice cream maker, will you? Thanks.
Heads って何のことだろう。
Valley of a Thousand Heads. You like the sound of that.
I found the ice cream maker but couldn't get it to open. It's completely frozen. 凍ってて開けられなかったやつね。
This is getting ridiculous. Can't you just defrost it? Or, I don't know. I don't know about the ice cream maker. Just figure something out.
なんとかしてよ。What is an offsite copy and why do you need it?
It's a backup of my former employer's project. The radio game we were working on. It's stored on a filament memory, just like the one inside this radio computer.
She points to the glowing cube inside the machine.
She's making it extra simple for you.
The backup itself is destroyed now, but I'm hoping to use what's left of it to pinpoint the exact location of the anomaly. You just have to go to my old workspace and get the filament.
ゲームのバックアップじゃないけどコピー。バックアップは今もう使えないって言ってたよね。破壊されたと。でもそのフィラメントを使ってこのアノマリー異常が起きている場所を理由を突き止めたいと。
Hold on. If it's called an off-site copy, then why is it still on-site?
いや、いいよいいよ。
Thanks.
Okay.
And here's my Kvalsund multi-tool. You might need it to hack loose some ice. It opens everything. If you get me the off-site copy, then you can keep the Kvalsund.
お、なんか
The legendary Kvalsund multi-tool. This is Prybar version 2.0 for professionals like you.
なんか強そうなツールもらったよ。うわ、でかい。そんなでかく見えなかったけどな。クローバーより強いらしい。OK。これでいろいろ開けれるようになったかな？さあ行きましょう。本屋に戻ろう。はい、本屋に戻りました。もう一回後ろに、地下に行きましょうね。相変わらず暗いな。
Tiles on the cube are still smoldering. Like a smooth draw, the filament slides into place. On the keyboard, the play key starts blinking.
ここでもう一回アクセスできるかな？
The speaker comes to life.
Good afternoon. Fortress accident en rue de Saint-Ghislaine. This is East Insulindian Repeater Station 1. Please repeat. Is this the production schedule?
Yes. Let's try the password for the production schedule.
Good. Please repeat the password.
Afterlife Death. パスワード手に入れたもんね。
Good. I've unlocked the production schedule. After ending the call, please press print to access the filament.
Really? She just used the same password? Maybe those radio computer guys aren't that paranoid after all.
マジで同じパスワードを使ったのか
Fortress accident. Is there anything else I can do for you? Thank you, and goodbye.
Tiles
Goodbye.
on the cube are still
プリント押さないと。
Tiles on the cube are still with a quiet determination. The printer starts printing, a piece of paper unfolding like a handheld fan.
こ
A
れさ
black crisscross of letters covers its surface.
さっきスーニャに邪魔されたからね、読めなかったね。読んでみましょう。
It's a project report written by the lead producer, Andrew Andy Schott, about Whirl Untethered, a radio game developed by Studio Fortress Accident.
ラジオゲームのレポート。
The first few pages give an overview of the capital and workforce, while the rest of it seems to be a production schedule.
資金のことと、人材のことと、あとはプロダクションスケジュール。
In its short time of existence, Fortress Accident SCA managed to burn through truly insane amounts of money. The first tranche of seed financing brought in 150,000 Riyal, but then came the delays.
すっごい金額使ったらしいね。
Eventually, the damage reached 400,000 Riyal, with only half of the game finished.
ゲームの半分開発しただけで400,000使ってしまったと。
Let's just say it was a real adventure for their Igaunian investor.
Read about the workforce who worked there, how long?
Fortress Accident employed 18 people, the bulk of the team composed of writers and concept artists. There were also radio programmers, sound engineers, a CEO, 2 marketing experts.
18人雇ってた、ね。Writers, concept artists, programmers, sound engineers, CEO, 2 marketing experts.
And a single overburdened producer who developed a habit of popping Pyrrolidon in the basement to escape his obligations.
で、一人のプロデューサー、ベースメントにドラッグ取りに、飲みに逃げてたらしい、ピルを。
Why did Fortress Accident have so many concept artists?
Why did a radio game need so many artists?
It didn't.
そう、ラジオゲームなんでアーティストがたくさんいるんだ。
No, definitely not. A few more producers could have come in handy though, especially when dealing with writers, some of whom routinely skipped work because of mental health issues and extremely unprofessional sleep schedules.
もっとプロデューサーを足してたらよかったかもねって。ライターたち管理するために。
One of them even managed to steal some valuable company property before skipping town for good.
何？一人のライター、貴重な企業のものを盗んで逃げてったって。それはどうやって分かってんの？production schedule 見ましょう。
The production schedule depicts their glorious descent into bankruptcy. Not the concept artists. It wasn't even the writers, with their panic attacks and 3-hour lunches.
これすっごいライターを叩いてるけど、どうしたのゲームライターは、もういつも、調子悪いんで今日働きませんとかね。3時間の昼ご飯の休憩とか取ったりとか。すごいなんかあったんです
It
か？
was impossible not to fail. The project was too large, and no amount of money could satiate the ever-expanding ambitions of the development team.
これさっきスーニャが言ってた、フィーチャークリープってやつですね。ゲームが、最初は、こういうゲームを作ろうと、開発を始めて、どんどん、じゃあこれを足そうってなって、どんどんでかくなりすぎて、完成できないという。
They tried to make a 4 million real game with 400,000 in their bank account.
4 million かかるゲームを400,000で作ろうとしたと。
They thought they could bridge the gap with pure willpower and imagination. They couldn't.
I could have. 俺だったらできたよ。
No, you couldn't have.
No.
Definitely not.
いや、みんな、
Not a chance.
みんな頭の中でみんな完全に否定している。
Even then, success remained within an ever narrowing margin of possibility that, despite everything, never entirely disappeared. That is until they discovered the Valley of the Heads.
完成はほとんど無理だったけど、Valley of the Heads を見つけて全てが変わったみたいな。The what?
At the 11th hour, the lead designer, Jim Spawn, Sulisław Jalisa, decided that what Wirral Untethered needed was a secret mystical location at the extreme edge of the map. This place was to be the Valley of the Heads, where the heads of all the headless constructs could be found. The player would have been able to choose a head for their headless party member, and each head would have been voiced on air by a professional actor.
どういうこと？マップの角に秘密の場所を作って、そこが Valley of the Heads、頭の谷で、プレイヤーが、頭のないメンバー、みんな頭ないのかな？頭のないメンバーに頭を選んであげて、で、プロの声優さんがラジオで、読んでくれるみたいな。どういうこと？ How many heads were there?
So many. The last count, there were approximately 10,000 heads for 10,000 headless men, all of which could be endlessly recombined.
1万個。そんな数の声優使う？それとも同じ声優が何度も言うのかな？That's pretty bad. So that's what did them in? それは管理できないだろう。
Well, yeah, that and the catastrophic data loss.
まあ、それと、データロスがあったと。This must be the anomaly Suna mentioned in the church log.
On the nature of the data loss, there's ominously little information in the production log. It comes at the very end where things get fuzzy and dark, where tables and numbers seem to vanish into an eerie nothingness, before the Igaunian investors pulled the plug.
あまり詳細は書かれてないけど、結構最後の方に、数字もテーブルも不思議なように、消えてで、インベスターが投資してる人がお金を切ったのかな？
What is clear is that one day an unidentified numeric anomaly occurred on the East Insulindian Lintel front, just as the Wirral Untethered project was being compiled that day.
ちょうどそのプログラムをコンパイルって日本語ってなんて言うんだろう。してた時に、組み立ててた時に、どこかにこういう異常、unidentified anomaly が起きて、それでデータロスが起きたと。それが境界にあるやつかな。And the anomaly caused all the data to get lost in the air?
When the project was returned, it was completely blank.
プロジェクトが完全に空になっていたと。
The team spent weeks on the phone with Lintel, the service provider. But despite their diagnostics, they could never produce a satisfactory explanation or pay for the loss.
で、Lintel ってその電話会社みたいなやつか。もう説明もできないし、お金も返してくれなかったと。Wasn't there a copy of the game, a backup? バックアップなかったのか？
Mysteriously enough, it seems that the offsite copy happened to be onsite when the catastrophic data loss occurred.
オフサイトコピー、そうだね。バックアップは同じ場所とシステムにつながってい たらいけないけど、なぜかオンサイトだったと。
It was the lead programmer's responsibility to oversee weekly maintenance of the off-site copy and, well, keep it off-site. An explanatory note from the lead programmer has been attached.
リードプログラマーの責任だったけど、ちゃんとそれを管理するの。でも、言い訳が書いてあるのかな？読んでみましょ
う。S. Lukanen Kilda, the lead programmer of Fortress Accident. The off-site copy was on-site because there was no off-site anymore. Not for me, not after 8 months of crunch.
オフサイトコピーがオンサイトだったのは、俺はもう俺にはもうオフサイトがなかったと。8ヶ月もクランチってもう締め切りが近づいてるからもう何をしてでも終わらせないといけないっていうじゃあもう寝泊まりで働くぞみたいなね。よくゲーム業界であると聞いていますが、アメリカではそれを変えようというちょっと運動が少しずつメディアでも取り上げられていて、ユニオン化とかハリウッドとかテレビではやっぱりユニオンが強いから、労働なんだっけ、このゲームでもユニオンのテーマあるよね。でもそのクランチがあったからもう俺はもうずっとオンサイトにもうここ出ることできなかったんだよみたいな。
I didn't have a home anymore, so I started keeping it in the basement in the ice-bear refrigerator near where I went to sleep. It was perfectly safe there. The temperature conditions were optimal.
もう帰る家もなかったからベースメントに寝ててベースメントに置いてたと。
That's not what her colleagues thought. She's right, actually. Nothing wrong with keeping this type of filament memory in a fridge.
こういうフィラメントメモリを冷蔵庫に入れるの何もおかしくないんじゃない？温度調整もできてるし。Is there anything else from the lead programmer?
The production schedule ends with a few random notes that seem to be added sometime later.
後書きされたなんかノートがあるよ。
4 months later, by an unknown author. I am the only one left, and it's gotten rather damp here. A few other businesses have gone under, too. Slipstream switched to making skis, and the hairdressers just left, cursing Martinez. They're right, though. Something's seriously wrong with this place. Martinez, all of it.
4ヶ月後。名前は残っていない。残っているのは私だけだ。他の企業も、閉まり始めたと。結構、その事件のせいで結構なんかいろんな状況が悪化したのかな。
Still haven't got an answer from Lintel about what happened. All I could get were the physical coordinates of the error on the East Insulindian front on that day. Since the computation happened on air, I reckoned it had to coincide with an actually existing location.
レンテルからは電話会社からはまだちゃんとした答えはもらえてないけど、その実際の、コーディネート座標だっけだけはもらえたと。どこで起きたか。それを調べに行ってんだよね、スニアが。
I have compared the coordinates to a map of Revachol West. Turns out it's only 800 meters from here. The address is Saint-Brun 1147. I am going there to look this thing in the eye. Saint-Brun 1147? That's what the street sign next to the church said. Tiles on the cube are still smoldering, casting the framework in a soft glow. The rest...
OK。これ持って帰りましょう。じゃあベースメントに行きます。暗いなここ。
A thick layer of coal dust covers the furnace, coloring it pitch black.
もう一回、この上に誰か住んでる かもしれないとか、なんか音が聞こえたんだよね。だっけ？もう一回、Hello って叫んでみよう。なんか、72% に上がってるけど、スナを助けたから。お、回復しろ。
Another pathetic yelp sounds off into the vast darkness of the chimney. You're a little embarrassed you produced it.
ダメでした。Okay, next. これだね、アイスクリームメーカー。開けれるかな？このツールで。
This orange machine is buzzing like an old submarine.
あれ？手に持ってないよ。あれ？どうした？持ってるけど、なんで消えてんの？ OK。
This orange machine is buzzing like an old submarine. It has a...
どうしたらいいの？
Yes?
Two cables are plugged into the breaker box. The red one leads to the ice bear fridge, and the black one to the ice cream maker. Something close to you dies with a soft electric purr. This orange machine is dead still. It has a hand-cranked ice cream churner and an electric freezer.
これ使ってるけどダメなの？これを右手にする？クローバーも持つ？
This orange machine is dead still. It has a hand-cranked ice cream churner and an electric freezer. The ice around it, turning the crank, feels oddly satisfying.
どういうことだろう？
Only the red and electric sizzle. The room is...
電源を切った。暗くなった。懐中電灯持ってないから。
The bear's eyes are dead and empty. Ice inside a friendly cartoon. The paper still...
やっぱこれだよね。Find the right tool or ask sooner for help. Buy found pants. あ、クーノからズボンを買う？これだよね、今のパイプ。OK。でもこのツールで何かできるはずだけどな。これはどうしたらいいんだろう。これはなんか、アクティベートしないといけないとか。ポストカード。bullets。こんなのいつからあった？ずっとあった？気づいてなかっただけ？ Equip this to open lock containers in the world. 開かないんですけど。
This orange machine is dead still. Ice squeaks beneath your Kavalzund multi-tool, but your fingers slip away from the tool. The lid shutters tightly as before, and it's already unplugged. There's not much else to do other than wait for it to defrost or bulk up and get stronger.
待つか、溶けるまで待つか、 もっと強くなるか。一応ツールは使ったみたいだね。まあ、じゃあ、後にしましょう。Whirling in Rags に戻って、カップルと話してみましょう。虫のやつ。何もなかったよと。
Boy, am I ever so grateful to you, officer. But I'm not the only one who wants to thank you.
It's great to see you again, officer. My wife can't wait to thank you. Go on, talk to her.
なんで奥さんと話すの？あんたに報告しないといけないんじゃない？
Oh, sweetie, I don't even know how to thank you for finding my husband and helping him out. I hope we haven't been too much trouble for you.
旦那を見つけてくれて手伝ってくれてありがとう。I'm basically also a cryptozoologist now. 俺も仲間だぞ。
I knew it.
Well, in that case, sweetie, let me give you a small token of my gratitude.
She hands you
It's a tie, Mexican origin. The pin is an antique, quite special to the cryptozoological community.
She hands you a ribbon tie held together by a silver bird skull. なんかネクタイもらったね。
The little silvery knob holding the tie together feels warm in your hand. It's in the shape of an avian skull with 8 eyes.
8つの目がある、鳥の骸骨のピンがついていると。ピンじゃないな。あ、ピ
You
ンか。
could ask her about this when you get the time. It's probably a cryptid, but the phasmid, of course, is more important.
You never told me you've seen the phasmid を見たと。前言ってなかったじゃないか。
Oh, you don't want to hear about some old woman's ramblings.
Ramblings? Nonsense. Your description of the phasmid is the most precise I've ever heard.
But darling, I didn't even get the size of it right.
You were a child, my dear. Really. It's extraordinary what you were able to describe. Now go on. Tell our friend about it.
子供の
It's
頃
proven his
に
interest in the field.
子供の頃に見たものを、彼はすごいなんか、あなたのその説明の仕方がもう完璧だったじゃないかと。見たもの。教えてやるよと。
Reflexively, the lieutenant read his familiar notebook.
Well, it was summer. I was building a racing track out of sand on the beach near a tall stand of reeds. Quite a tall one. Many times my height, I remember. When, all of a sudden...
夏で、砂浜で遊んでいたら、すっごい背の高い何かを見つけて、違う。レーシングトラックを作ってて、高い。そんなすごい、そんな結構努力かかるんじゃない？自分の高さの何倍も高いレーシングトラックを砂で作ってたと。
I looked up, and one of the reeds moved. Not like a plant, but like a living thing. It stood up and looked at me. Its body unfolded like some antique toy. I'd never seen anything like it. The reeds turned into a creature.
その reeds、細い植物が急に生き物みたいに立って、なんか膨らんだのか、unfolded。なんか変形して大きくなったなんかのクリーチャーに変わったと。
I didn't know this can happen, so I reached my arm and touched the thing. It felt just like a stalk of reed, but it moved, swaying, towering above me. After a while, 20 seconds, a minute maybe, it left, went into the reeds.
普通にその植物、その reed、まあ触ってみたら、それと同じような感触で、すごい背が高かったと。 で、20秒ぐらい経ったら1分だったかな。そしたら、去っていたと。
I tried, but I was only a child. There was mud and high water. I couldn't see it anymore. I was just standing there knee deep in mud, looking around me.
見失ってしまった。
I ran back home to my grandmother and asked her if reeds could walk, and told her they were looking at me. Of course, she just laughed at me, but I knew what I'd seen.
家に帰っておばあちゃんに聞いてみたけど、笑われたと。
For years, it was a story I told at parties when I wanted to impress boys. That sort of thing. Of course, most people just took it as a strange, amusing anecdote. So did I, honestly. But then I met Morel.
We were on a date. Can you imagine? She tells me a story, and it's the most detailed report of the Insulindian phasmid I've ever heard. The sounds. She told me it hissed.
まあデートの時の話のネタとかに、まあ、ずっと使ってたみたいだけど、まあ大体ほとんどの人は、まあ、信じてくれないだろうけど、モラルに会ったら、多分彼はもうこのインスリンファズメっていうものを知っていて、今話してるの、それじゃないみたいな。多分そう思ったんだと思う。
It did, yes. Like reeds in a gust of wind.
The way it moved, the colour, how some of its limbs were white, like marble. It matched perfectly with what I know from other accounts. It was amazing.
本当にいるのかな。他の人から聞いてるものと完全に一致したと。
If it weren't for Lena, I might have given up hope years ago. It's no exaggeration to say that she restored my faith in my profession.
Its limbs are white?
Not all of them. There is some white coloration reported, along with beige, where the camouflage ends.
白かベージュか。How big was it?
It's hard to say how big things are when you're quite small yourself. To me, it seemed to be taller than I was then, but that's probably not the case.
大きさは、自分も小さかったからはっきりとわからないけど、私より高かったような、でも違うかも。Okay.
You're welcome, sweetie. I do appreciate the chance to relive it whenever I get one. It was just such an impossibly sunshiny day. So warm.
あったかい日だった。Okay.
Nothing like the gratitude of a good woman. Now then, what can I do for you?
He tries to play it cool, remain professorial, but inside, this man is itching for some news on the...
じゃあ、今回は、ここで終わって、次は彼に報告して、あと、カラオケできるかちょっとテープを調べてみましょう。はい、では、Thank you for watching, and if you enjoy this, please leave a like, don't forget to subscribe, and we'll see you next time. Bye bye.